Welcome to Midday Live. Welcome to Midday. Hey, Gabito. Gabito, hey. Hello. Welcome to Midday Live. This is Friday. Hey. Happy Friday. Another week. What have you accomplished with this week? I want to know. How has your week been? It bothers me that so many people live for the weekend, and we have to get beyond that space of just living for the weekend, just counting down these 5 days of the week to enjoy two and a half. We need to enjoy every day. How can you enjoy every day? That might even be a midday live that maybe have to be Sunday. Actually, you know what? Let me write that down. Because I will forget. All right. So, hello. My name is Kristen Young, the marriage enthusiast and founder of Living the Vows and the Fit and Sexy Wives. Hey, Janine, how are you? So welcome to Midday Live. This happens every day at 1 o'clock. So I'm excited to be with you all and to connect with you. And just share some inspiration, some information, some motivation. And let me know what you need. What is it that you need to move forward? So the question that I posed today: are you prejudiced against your husband? Are you prejudiced against your husband? And of course, just with everything that's going on right now with Charlottesville, and I'm not clear on hello A7570. Is that Virginia? Couldn't catch all of it, but hello anyway. With what's happening in Charlottesville, Virginia, we're still working through that. That's not just something that happened last weekend. This is something that is ongoing. This is yet another reminder, yet another opportunity. Hey, C. Gilder. Another opportunity to come together as people, coming together as people. It's frustrating because we do this every so often, unfortunately, because whenever there's a major tragedy, we do have people that decide to come together and work together. So obviously we're coming up on another anniversary for 9/11. So that was a major experience that people came together. I know before that we had the what was it? The bombing in Waco, Texas. Obviously, more recently, just this past weekend, we're dealing with Charlottesville, and we're supporting those in Spain who I'm still not clear on all the details there, but I know we are supporting our family in Spain as they work through their challenges. And of course, there's been a host of other tragedies, terrorist attacks, and major, whether domestic or non. There's a lot that's going on, and what keeps coming up is hate. What keeps coming up is racism. What keeps coming up is, in general, prejudice. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're working through every day of our lives. And if we can be completely carefree honest, we all have some level of prejudice that operates in our lives on some degree. We do. There's some preconceived notion of how people are, even if when we more often than not, when we are angry, that's where the true truth comes out. The true truth. It comes out in anger. We also know that the truth comes out in drunkenness as well. But it's important to recognize that we all have some level of Prejudice, something that we don't understand, something that was taught to us. And I love the most popular tweet ever that came out because of the Charlottesville incident from our most recent president, Barack Obama. Um, he was sharing that no one is born hating anyone. No one is born prejudiced against anyone. No one is born disliking other people. And I love when I can see small children, they just see somebody their size and they just say, hey, let's do life together. They go and play. They say, ooh, you have a toy that I want. Let's go work this out. But it's not until they are trained to think and believe a certain way. Behavior is taught. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And I was watching a video yesterday about this woman. It's a, are you all familiar with Vice? VICE, Vice. It's I don't know if it's like an online news or I've just seen a lot of videos, especially lately. They've been sharing a lot of videos about Charlottesville, and they've had their reporters and people on the street interviewing people, and they've had some really interesting interviews. So if you're not familiar, just look up VICE. No, but I'll check it out. Okay, VICE. Yeah, as I said, they've had some interesting interviews, and I've just found out about them through this whole Charlottesville challenge, and a lot of their videos have come up in my Facebook newsfeed, etc. But anyway, the one I was watching yesterday was this woman who, this family, they were talking about the white they were interviewing somebody who I believe is a white nationalist, and basically it was this gentleman with his wife, and they had two small children, maybe 2 and under, and they were just talking about, are you racist, and where do you stand as far as how this world should be, and for the most part, and I'm not going to get into specifics. The point that stood out for me was the interviewer from Vice asked the gentleman if he believed there should be a genocide. And he, for the most part, he said, no, I don't believe there should be a genocide. I just believe that whites have power, and basically he gave the politically correct answer. But then his wife turned around and she very blatantly said, I believe there should be a genocide. And it was truly just this long pause. They all looked at her. And she even said, she was like, y'all are all looking at me like I'm crazy or something, that to degree. Now, and just so we're clear, genocide is intentionally killing people, a large population or a large group of people. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe they were specifying Jewish, but don't get me wrong. I don't want to misquote. But basically, she said that she feels there should be a genocide because she wants to make sure that her white children have all of the, basically, she wants to make sure that her white children have a chance in this world. So she believes that we should kill a population of other people. They didn't get into specifics as far as Black and Asian or what have you. She just said she believes that there should be a genocide so that her white children can excel and have all the chances that they need in life. So it stung. It stung because as much as we don't want to believe that people like this are out there, there are people like this out there. But my one area of sympathy for her, I don't know exactly where they lived. This was like a 2-3 minute video. It wasn't anything long. It was a snippet. I'm sure it was a longer video, what have you. But My slight area of sympathy for her, I don't know if sympathy is the right word, but my mature understanding is that she has likely grown up in an area where she has minimal exposure to people of other cultures. There are many places in the United States where the diversity is minimal. So there are people who are growing up in a white only society, a white only community where they work with only white people, and they may go to school with only white people. You may have the occasional um, Asian or black or another race or another nationality in that class, but for the most part there are still areas that are predominantly, and in some cases solely, white. So if you've grown up in that area and all you see is what's portrayed on the news, and then you were raised by people who believed that whites are superior, you're continuing to carry on that mentality, and you're not even making an attempt to find out, to gain any facts about other people, other races, other religions, other cultures. All you're doing is saying, I'm walking in fear. And I know that fear topic has come up quite a bit this week, because that's exactly what's happening. I'm afraid of the unknown. I'm afraid of what's out there. I'm afraid of what is portrayed in those 30-second clips on television. And if that's all I've seen of black people, or all I know is Asians come over and steal money, or not steal money, but build businesses, and take away from areas where we could build businesses, or we have, all I know of Mexicans is that they cross the border illegally and work illegally in our country and steal money that I could be making and my family could be making. If that is your mentality, that's not cool. It's not cool. But unfortunately, there are too many people who are living with that teaching, living with that mentality, because that's all they know. And if that's all you know for 10, 15, 20 years, it's uncomfortable to step out and try to find a different way of thinking. It's uncomfortable to meet that black person for the first time and not be fearful of your life. And as I said, she had these two small children, so that means clearly, without a doubt, this is what she's teaching her two small children. They even said on the video, if their children decided to date someone who was homophobe, if their children decided to be homosexual, or if their children decided to date somebody outside of their race, they would disown their children. They said they were on their own. So if you're coming with that mentality and you're teaching that to your children, which means they're going to teach that to their children, we have to find someone who's strong enough to make that break. We have to find someone who's strong enough to shift their views and shift their perspective and be willing to learn more about what's out there. So what does that have to do with what I'm sharing today? It's so important for us to realize. I don't know why. Oh Lord, sorry y'all. Hold on give me one quick second. Sorry y'all. My there was something playing in the background and I don't know what just happened. All right, I gotta do this again real quick. So hold on. Hold on. I'm coming, y'all. I really am. All right. Nope. Okay. Sorry, Periscope. I apologize. I'm not sure what happened. Facebook, I appreciate you hanging out with me. So I was just getting to the point that uh, what does this have to do with being prejudiced against my husband? There are, unfortunately, too many times. As I said, we come into this world a blank slate, truly, and we're taught certain things as we go along. We're taught certain things, and we learn certain things along the way. So by the time we get to marriage, by the time we get to selecting that person we're spending our lives with, we've chosen certain ways of thinking. We've chosen certain ways of being. We've chosen certain things that we want to believe in. And a lot of times it's the unconscious ways of thinking that do the most damage. So there are too many times, and especially we're all very clear that the divorce rate is high. We're clear that the sanctity of marriage and the honor for marriage has faded along the way. But what we need to understand is that, hey Mary, hey Raj, excuse me, Raj. Um, if you're just joining, this is part two. I cut off the first video by accident, so if you want to go back and catch the first one after this, by all means, please do so. But the challenge is that we come with a certain mentality, and there's unfortunately too many people that are living in a marriage where they are prejudiced against their spouses, and sometimes, as I said, it's unconscious. You don't even realize it. So when we get to a space where, let's say for example, your husband is in a position where he has a lower paying job than you do, there's a mentality that goes along with that. And for some couples, it creates challenges within the marriage, not just because the bills aren't paid, because there's some couples your bills, all your financial needs could be met, and a couple of your desires too, but it's still the mentality that if he is a man who is earning less than I am, then there's a certain stigma that goes along with that type of man. And if it goes on for too long, there's an unconscious prejudice that happens that starts to break up that marriage. There's a prejudice that happens with, even on the flip side, men who may make a lot more money than your spouse. And naturally you want to say, oh, well, a woman wants a man who's going to take care of her and make more money than her, or what have you. But if she is in a space where she too would like to own a business or shift her career, or make certain changes in her finances, and if she's struggling to get there, where her husband, trying to get to a place where her husband already is, or a certain level of establishment, there's a prejudice that can creep into your marriage that we're not even clear on, because you're feeling uncomfortable with yourself. You're feeling a level of fear of not being able to meet the goals that you want. You're fearing failure. You're feeling, whatever the fears are that go along with that. But a lot of times some women will allow that to shift into a prejudice towards their husbands, because he's at a level that she can't get to. And of course, in society, men always make more money than women anyway. And there's a certain level of frustration that goes along with that. There's a number of situations where we allow ourselves unconsciously to get frustrated. We get frustrated because our husbands don't step in and parent the way we want them to parent. We get frustrated because our marriage is not an equal 50-50 situation, and we feel like men need to step up, but all men do this, and no man knows how to change a diaper, and um, the challenges that come with the frustrations that we may face in our day-to-day living, and we allow that to turn into generalities, and we allow that to turn into assumptions, and we allow that to turn into a level of prejudice that is a disease within your marriage. So it's important for us to continue to move forward with clarity around what is your unconscious saying to you? How is your unconscious directing you? How is your unconscious leading your life? And that's what we have to be clear on. Because when we find ourselves in that space where we're just angry and we're frustrated, and we see certain people, or our husbands may say certain things, and we automatically get an attitude, you need to check yourself, because that could be a level of prejudice. That could be a symptom of prejudice that you're not even aware of. So I want you to take a moment and really think about that. How does that play into your life? Does it play into your life? And if so, what are you willing to do to shift that, so that you can release unnecessary tension, you can release unnecessary frustration, you can release unnecessary challenges, you can release unnecessary sickness and disease that's flowing through your marriage, so that you can release love all through your marriage, so you can release mending, wholeness, power, medication all through your marriage, anything that's going to uplift and bind your marriage together into wholeness and joy. That's what we desire. That's what we're going for. So I encourage you to take that opportunity to take a step back and just evaluate. Ask yourself, and truly write it down. Ask yourself, what are the things that are frustrating me about my husband right now? What is it that he does that makes me so angry? What is it that I would like him to do instead? And what am I doing to support that shift? I want you to think about those things and truly write it down and apply it to your life. Apply it to your right now. Because all we have is right now. And as we know, we're not promised tomorrow. As we know, no matter how good our intentions are, no matter how great our plan is, no matter what our bank account looks like, the very next breath is not promised to you. So what can you do right now to make a shift right now that's going to change the trajectory of your marriage right now? So I encourage you to write that down. I truly encourage you to think about that, pray on that, do whatever it is that you need to do to move in the direction that you genuinely desire for your marriage. Be willing to roll up your sleeves. Be willing to press forward. And if you know you are in a space where you need assistance, if you know you are in a space where you don't know how to get past your frustration, you don't know how to get past that anger, it's been going on for so long that you genuinely want a change, but you have no idea where to start, this is where you start. Right here, this is where you start. I am here to support you. So all you need to do right now, you can inbox me or go to yes at livingthevows.com and just say, I need support. I will get on the phone with you. I will support you. We will create a strategy. We will work things out. But you have to be willing to work things out. This is not a time just to talk about it, just to vent about it, but do something about it. So I thank you so much for continuing to check in. Tomorrow, I'm excited. We will be doing Midday Live from the Unmasking event that is happening right here in Baltimore tomorrow, 9 a.m. So make sure, for those of you who are attending, I want to see you there bright and early on time so we can rock and roll all day. And for those of you who are not going to be there, I will give you a glimpse. I will give you a little peek inside of Midday Live tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So thank you. Continue to please share this video. Share this video. If this is of any value to you, just share this video. Like us on Facebook. Go to Living the Vows Facebook page. Like us on Facebook. And of course, if you want more information, go to livingthevows.com. Slide your email address right on in there so you can join our email list. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Happy Friday, and I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.